Good evening, everyone. My name is Malcolm Young. I'm the Dean of Grace Cathedral. It is such a blessing to see all of you out here. So late at night, but for such an important guest. Especially glad to see Patrick, who's read the book carefully, I know, and all of our friends here. Tonight we're here to meet and to get to know Luvvie Ajayi, who is really a phenomenal person. She's got a book on the New York Times National Bestseller list. She is got 500,000 followers on Twitter and Facebook. She is an expert at things that I have so much to learn about. So I thought,
like throwing shade.
I thought the whole thing. There are things like I had to kind of spell out. I had to ask my kids, like, what is this? So it was great. I was just telling her upstairs, I have been immersed in reading the book for like the last 24 hours. I mean, everything I see, every person I meet, I see it kind of through your eyes, because I'm just so immersed in the whole thing.
That is cool.
But we are so blessed to have you tonight. And indeed. She's been on the airplane to get here. And we're really glad to see you. You know, there's so many parts of your book that were so powerful to me, but when I was 12, my family moved to California, and it was a huge adjustment. And it just doesn't seem like that much of a cultural adjustment from one region of the United States to another region of the United States. But I was reading your account of coming from Nigeria. Were you 8 or 9 years old when you came?
Yeah, I was 9.
9 years old, yeah. And so, I wonder if maybe you can talk a little bit about what that was like, and then, what difference it makes for you to have those Nigerian roots as you're experiencing everything that's around us.
So, when I was 9, we moved to the U.S. Nobody told me we were moving. I thought we were going to vacation. So then it was when I walked into school that I was like, oh, so we're staying. I was like, okay, nobody consulted me here. It was a huge culture shock because, one, it was the first time I was ever the new girl in a room. Like, the school I'd gone to in Nigeria was a private school that I'd been going to since I was 2. And the headmistress was my best friend's aunt. So to walk in this room where, one, for the first time ever, my name was considered weird, my accent was considered weird, and everybody in the room didn't look like me, it was one of those like, oh God, okay, this is a lot. Yeah. So that was like a huge adjustment, but kids adapt, and I ended up making friends. I ended up losing most of my accent by high school by mimicking my classmates and how they spoke.
That was a part of me too. I had an accent, and I had to lose it really fast. And I even say that some of the kids whose names I met then, I say their names kind of wrong because I learned them before I got rid of the accent.
See, for me, it was just a matter of being like, how do I make sure I'm not as different as I am now? Okay, talk like them. So I'd like...
That's what I learned right off.
Gotta do it. You gotta do it. So like I lost most of my Nigerian accent by the time high school started. I was dressed like everybody else. So I had also done it to where, because my name was so hard to pronounce, every first day of school, I'd make sure I got to school early so I can go to my teachers and be like, hey, this is how you pronounce my name. Because usually they'll look down at the roster, see my name, and they'll be like, because my last name is Ajayi, which is like,
first on the list.
It's always first on the list. And I always know because they'll pause and be like, this is hard. And I'm like, it's me. So I would like get to school early, just like make my rounds, like, okay, I'm the first one on your list. Here's how you say my name. And it was like my routine.
And so that Nigerianness still is such a big part of everything you write, and the way you see things.
Yeah.
How does it make it you see what's going on around us differently?
Yes, my Nigerianness definitely informs everything about me, including like how direct I am. Nigerians are very direct and blunt people. We don't really sugarcoat stuff.
In seminary, I had a Nigerian friend. I just remembered. He was my next door neighbor. And the first night I went and moved into the dorms, he knocked on the door, And he said, I like to pray in tongues. So if I'm talking and praying in tongues too loudly,
Let
then
me
just,
know.
Yeah,
We're
it was
not
so
this-
direct.
Absolutely. Like, instead of like, people are very used to getting critiques and like compliment sandwiches where you want to like tell somebody to do better, but you're like, oh my God, so this was great, but you can get this better. No, Nigerians are like, let me tell you, this is terrible. Fix that. So honestly, the way I write is very much like, I don't have to give you that first compliment. If I just know what I want to say to you is like, you've got to do better. So, I mean, I end up having my book's subtitle be the Do Better Manual because, I mean, people just got to do better.
Right.
And I mean, and also growing up Nigerian, like, our parents don't do the whole kid glove treatment.
Right.
Like, you know
not
how
everybody gets a trophy.
It's not. We don't get participation trophies.
Yeah.
Like, if I came home when I was in Nigeria, again, I had been in the same class with the same people since I was 2, so it was the same 30 people. And me and this other guy and they used to rank us. That's another thing. Like,
yeah, right.
we were getting ranked from the time we were young. So every class had its rankings based on how well you're doing. Me and this boy in class, we always switched 1 and 2. Like, one semester he'll be 1, and then I'll be 2, and then the next one I'm 1. Yeah, if you come up with a B, they're not gonna be like, oh my God, the rest of your report card is amazing, but this B. It's just like, why do you have this B here? Why is this B even here? So, like that off jump, it just taught me that like, all right, like I need to be excellent all the time.
Right.
I need. It's not necessarily even an expectation as much as an obligation. Right. So that I carry that along with me in my writing, and then I expect excellence of other people.
Yeah.
Because that's what's been expected of me since I was young.
Yeah, in a way, that's what this is about. It's like how to raise the bar.
Raise the bar.
How to be more excellent in our life.
Absolutely.
Do you know what's happened to that boy who you were like neck and neck with?
No, I probably
You gotta look him up
I
on
could
the
probably find
internet.
him on Facebook if I was like.
You should look him up.
Really
look him up on
looking.
this trip.
I should look him up and be
you
like.
should write an article about him. I think he'd be a
Number
great,
1 and 2.
Completely. I'm looking forward to reading that.
That could be fun. I mean, honestly, I found so when we came to the U.S., I lost track of like a lot of people in Nigeria, because you think you're gonna keep in touch. Nah. And I remember in 2007, somebody messaged me on Facebook and was like, you remind me of my first best friend. I found my first ever best friend on Facebook.
That's great.
Who I'd lost touch with. At that point, it was for 13 years. And then when I went to Nigeria in 2011, she ended up coming and meeting with me.
Oh,
and like,
that's awesome.
It was perfect.
That's
so, yeah.
so great. That's so great to not lose touch with those people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, you were a peer counselor in college. I was an RA in college. And it's really, sometimes I joke about being a priest. I'm like, oh, I'm an RA for life.
You are.
No, seriously.
You
it's
are.
just like, it's the same
It's the same
thing. From all those 3 years of college, it's exactly the same. People calling, I'm worried about my grade. Well, they're not worried about their grades, but they're worried about their girlfriend or the boyfriend.
Right.
But I wonder, just like, in what ways you're kind of a peer counselor for life? Just like, what did you learn then, and how has it affected what you're doing now?
I'm the Dear Abby of blogosphere.
Yes, yes, completely.
I'll be the person who's like, why are you not getting your stuff together? Okay. Yeah, I was a counseling standard paraprofessional for 2.5 years in college, and because my degree's in psychology. Honestly, what that time taught me best was probably the space that I take up in the world.
Yeah.
And like when I walk in a room, what I bring in with me. And I think in chapter 9 of this book, I talk about some of this stuff. So the first semester of being a counseling standard paraprofessional, they made us spend the entire 6 months basically like Deepak Chopra in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Like
That's great.
Like we said, like class periods were dedicated to us like knowing who we were better, and we got to interview our classmates, and they got to interview us, and we got to do all these different projects that really kind of broke down who we were in ways that we hadn't thought about. So one of the most impactful exercises that we did was the privilege exercise.
We did that too. We did that too.
I think everybody needs to do that at least
it's
one time in their
completely.
lives.
It's so important. We just did the map exercise too, where everybody stands on where they are in the map of the world.
I haven't done that one, but privilege one was...
Privilege is good.
Privilege one is really good, and I think, honestly...
Can you guess where I end up on the privilege one?
Oh, all the way in the front? All the way in the front?
And I'm like,
You was
where is
all
everybody?
the way back there, like... So privilege exercises in a room, it's best done in like a room of 20 to 30 people. Based on how big the room is, though, you can actually probably do it for bigger. So you all stand, let's say we all stand in this line. The cathedral would be a good place to do it. You stand in a straight line to start, right? So the moderator will read a sentence. You either step forward, step back, or stay in the same place. So a sentence would be like, step forward if you aren't worried about marrying the person you love. You step forward. Step back if you've sometimes worried about where your next meal is coming from. You step back. You can do like step
You've been
back.
pulled over by the police.
Yeah, step back if no one can pronounce your name correctly the first time. Right? So I was like, yes. Giant step, okay? And at the end of this series of statements, they say like stop and look around. Like you spend 5 minutes just literally taking note of where you are in the room, who's in front of you, who's behind you, who's next to you. So when we did the privilege exercise, I'm thinking I was going to be in the back, right? I was like, I'm a black girl, immigrant,
Yeah.
can't nobody say my name. I'm probably going to be in the back. In the privilege exercise, I ended up being in the middle, right? And I was actually very surprised by some of my classmates who were in the back.
Right, because they don't look like
I
they'd
was
be in the
like,
back.
you behind me,
Right,
how?
right.
And it kind of put things in perspective, because when you walk in a room, you make certain assumptions about who's in that room, their life experiences. I had made assumptions about some of my classmates, and I'm sure they'd made some about me. I'm sure a lot of them expected was like, how is she in front of me? Well, that's because I'm Christian, I am cisgender, I am straight, I've never been poor, I've been educated since I was little. I went to a private school.
Yeah.
So I walked in that room with a lot more privilege than I even understood that I did. And some of the people behind me were gay, or they had grown up very poor, or were in a safe-sex relationship. And all of that together put them behind me in this privilege exercise. And of course, the people who were all the way in the front, straight white men, I was like, I needed binoculars to see them, like, y'all all the way. And I also think it was also a moment for them to stop and be like, holy smokes.
Because that's a big room.
I'm this far ahead of them.
Yeah,
and for a lot of and we debrief afterwards, and for a lot of my classmates, it was the first time they'd ever thought that they walked in a room with a lot of power.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So for us, I think that was like a very life-changing exercise for me too, just because it let me realize that even though I am a double minority, black and woman, because of my background and my class and my religion, I have a lot of power also. So that was one of those exercises that everyone was like in tears afterwards, because you realize like, oh my God, I hadn't thought about myself in the space that I occupy in this way.
Well, also, it sounds like it just brought you together with so many different people. And I think that's part of the appeal, is just, you're writing about your own social location, but you are really curious about what other people's social locations are, and you have experiences with them to be able to talk about them, write about them, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, defining privilege changes a lot of people just in how they think about the world too, because people think about privilege as in luck, like, oh my God, or things that have been handed to you, and you think, well, I've worked hard, so I don't have a lot of privilege. No, a lot of us have more privilege than we think we do. Like the fact that, honestly, when we are born in certain circumstances that we have nothing to do with, have either put us ahead or behind, that is something that we need to acknowledge. And acknowledging our privilege is not saying, like, I'm better than you.
Right.
It means I am very aware of this space that I take up. I'm very aware of how I move in this world and what it means for the opportunities I have. And I think a lot of times, too, it humbles you.
Yeah, that's right.
Because when you realize you're born with certain things that already put you way ahead, you can look around at your success and realize that it's not all you're doing. It's not just because you're like the most talented person in the world.
And you can learn from people too. I mean, it
Absolutely.
means you're open to learn from somebody who's had the different experience.
Open to learn. And I think, again, not thinking of yourself as like this like unicorn who happened to earn their way to the front of the room. It makes you a better person, because then you can actually know that your work is not in a vacuum. Like, who you are is not operating in some type of island vacuum where it's like, it's just because I'm the amazing person, that's how I'm on the stage. No. you were able to do certain things because of certain opportunities that you were afforded that had nothing to do with your own skills.
Right, exactly.
So.
You know, one of the most powerful chapters, I thought, was the chapter on rape culture. And that's another way in which people come into a room, and another way that people misuse that authority and power that they have. And I wonder, you know, if you have anything to say about just what you're observing in terms of how, I mean, you know, President Trump in the election, we had all, well, I know, it had to come up, I'm sorry.
It had to, I know. I was waiting.
Sometimes I just think we just need like a sabbatical from Trump, right? You know?
We do. Like for my spirit. Like
seriously, it's almost like, can I take like 3 days off?
3 days
but
off.
But you can't, because the whole world's going to be completely ruined in 3 days.
Crumble.
Totally, the nuclear codes.
Absolutely. I was like afraid what had happened when I stepped off the flight after a 4-hour flight. I was like, Lord, let it all be standing still.
Oh, yeah, completely. I felt I was away. We had a little retreat. I was gone for one night. I can't believe how many things went wrong in one
You're
night.
like, gee. Yeah, I mean, that chapter on rape culture. So
yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, it really hurt. I mean, you know, when the women came forward, just completely dismissed, and it's gone. I mean, all those women made public statements, and I haven't heard anything about it, you know, in months.
I just remember orientation during college. It was like June of 2002. Our first thing, one of the first days on the college campus, and they were like, okay, the girls are being separated from the boys. Why? Because the girls have to take a rape awareness class. And like in this class, we spend an hour being told, hey, don't walk by yourself at nighttime on campus. If you go to a party, take 2 other people. Don't drink there. And when you are walking by yourself on campus, make sure you keep your eyes on the little blue lit things, because
right,
those are phones you can use. Yeah. And then here's a rape whistle. Bye, guys. Like, they spent the entire time telling us how not to be raped. And I'm thinking in my head, like, are they telling guys right now, like, hey, don't rape girls? Like, and here's how you don't do it.
Right.
When they say no, actually listen to that. Like, I was just wondering if there was like a parallel class for boys.
Right. It makes sense.
It was crazy to me. And I think we live in this society that doesn't value the bodies of women enough. So my senior year, I had a lot of whole extra credits to take. So I was taking all types of like classes that I was like, yes, this is going to matter to me. One of the classes that I ended up taking ended up being a program, actually. I got trained to be a 40-hour mandated reporter.
Oh, yeah, right.
So they had us sit there for like 3 weeks and trained us on how to basically recognize what it looks like when somebody's dealing with the trauma. And then we had to go to elementary schools, kindergartners to 5th grade, to give them workshops on how to stay safe, strong, and free. So at the end of every workshop, we would invite the kids to come talk to us privately. And if the kids divulged anything that was like sexual assault, we had to report it to the authorities. And a 6-year-old came out and talked to me one day and said her dad was touching her in her private parts. And I was like, and then I was shocked because he was actually in jail for it. And that was the first person who had said that to us, whose assaulter was actually behind bars.
Right.
And it just like showed to me that, first of all, girls don't feel protected, even from a young age.
Yeah.
And then 2, we were always told that like it came down to whoever the first person they told. How that person reacted was the trickle-down effect on how this person ended up dealing. So if they told one person and that person dismissed them and was like, whatever, you're just making this up, they might never tell anybody else.
Right.
And then it like eats them out.
You just never know who
and you never know.
You never know.
And I am a fan of affirming women and having them know that you have the right, 1, to always say no, and 2, you have the right to be believed. And when that video came out of the now president saying that, I was like, oh, this should be done. This should be
I know, me too.
What kills the
I felt
campaign.
same way.
No, you're still gonna let him run this company after he said that?
Yeah.
I mean, if that wasn't like a wake-up call
Yeah.
on how little women's bodies are valued, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it's an important reminder of it. You're right. Yeah.
I was like,
some of the things that you write about the internet are so interesting to me. Just because, you know, I'm a little bit older, and so I have a kind of a different experience of it all. And, you know, so I was just kind of joking around the office today. I'm like, gosh, how did she get to be an internet celebrity?
I do not claim internet celebrity. Let the record show.
Oh, all right. So you didn't at all. But for me, you're the closest thing to an internet celebrity who ever gonna cross my path, and this is my big chance.
That sounds like Bitcoin. Like the Bitcoin. Like, what does that mean? Like,
yeah, right. I have questions about Bitcoin too.
Me too. I don't understand Bitcoin.
We're gonna get the Bitcoin guy in here.
I can't touch it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like,
so what is the first post you remember making, or like, how did it evolve? I mean, how did you start writing a blog? How did people start noticing it? How did how did this whole thing happen?
Okay, so I've been blogging for 14 years now. That is the only time I'm a veteran at anything.
So that's like 2002.
2003.
2003.
So it was my second semester of college, and my friends were like, "You should start a weblog," and I was like, "Okay." So I went on Zanga.
Oh yeah, right.
Back in the day, for real.
Yeah. That is.
I went on Zanga and I started this blog where I was just talking about my college life. The cool thing is I have my entire college career documented.
That's awesome.
In Comic Sans
That is so
posts.
awesome. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's
terrible.
Right. Yeah.
So
you can change the font.
I can change the font. No, but like that's how I knew it was bad. Like after I deleted the blog and I saved all the posts, it was all in Comic Sans, and I was like, oh God, I didn't know better. So I deleted it after I graduated in 2006, and I started a new blog, which became awesomelyluvvie.com, where I was just talking about celebrity culture.
So when did you start that?
August 2006.
Okay.
So it turned 10 years old last August. And I was just talking about randomness, celebrities, less about me because I was born at that point. I didn't have a job. I had just graduated. I was like, there's no like story here. So I was just talking about what was happening elsewhere. And even when I did finally get a full-time job, I kept blogging. Like I'd come home at 6 or 7 and blog from like 7 to 9. And it was just nothing that I thought anything of. It was just something that I thought was fun. Right, I was a columnist when I worked for the when I was at school too.
So you have that journalist part of you.
A little bit, but again, what's funny is I've been the same person for such a long time. Right? When I was an advice columnist for the school paper,
that's great too.
I wrote things basically, and I was like, okay, here's how you don't get kicked out of school, right? Go to class, all right? And I read some of that stuff, and it reads very much like me now, college version.
Yeah.
But yeah, my blog basically started taking on a life of its own. 2009, I won my first award for it, and it was the Best Humor Blog Award. And I didn't even realize my blog was popular. I'm like, oh, people are actually reading this.
Right.
Cool.
It's because it wasn't recorded how many people were.
I think I recorded, but I never checked my stats.
Yeah.
I was just like, I just thought it was like me and my friends reading it, and they thought it was cute, and I thought it was cute. And then I won that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then April 2010, I got laid off my full-time job. And that's the last time I had a full-time job. Essentially, it was kind of like the universe pushing me to take the leap of faith. I wasn't going to take
It seems like
myself.
a terrible disaster when it happens.
Yeah, I was like,
it turns
oh,
out
man.
the best thing for you.
I was like, I need benefits and insurance. What am I going to do?
Exactly.
Blogging can't do that. So I fought the idea that this writing thing, this blogging, I fought it tooth and nails. Like I was like, okay.
It's your calling.
It took me a while to realize that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like God had to like grab my face and be like, yo, you're not paying attention. I'm trying to tell you something here. Because I would go on LinkedIn and look for jobs. I did finally get a job, I think in like 2011. It was like I was going to be doing social media strategy for a global brand.
Oh, yeah.
Good pay. Day one, I go in my slacks. First of all, I didn't put that on like a year and a half. And then by like 1 p.m., the walls were closing in on me.
Oh, yeah.
And like I went to slide out my chair under the table. That's when I was like, okay, so let's see if this writing thing can work, because this is not going to work. So I worked till 5 p.m., and then I sent them an email that was like, yeah, about that, not going to come in tomorrow or the day after. Yeah. So thanks for the opportunity, though. So that's the last time I had a full-time job in the office.
Right. That's great.
And the writing finally became something I took serious because I realized the power of my words, because every time I would want to quit or be like, okay, go find another job, I would get an email from somebody who was like, I remember getting this email from somebody who said she was in the waiting room with her mom while her mom was getting chemotherapy, and the reason why she wasn't crying was because she was reading my blog.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I didn't even know that was this thing that I was doing. Okay. Yeah. And I'd get an email like somebody said the first time they laughed in 6 months after having a depressive episode was reading my blog. So I was like, okay, who am I not to honor
Right, completely. The
this
gift that
and
you've been
understand that
given.
this is a gift that I need to kind of pay attention to.
Yeah.
So.
What advice do you have for young people who want to follow in your footsteps?
It's gonna be hard. One, okay, so this whole writing thing is difficult because there's no path, right? There's no like
Well,
set
part
path
of it too
that's
is
like
the
you go to school.
technology's been changing so much that the bridge you walked across is gone.
It's
and there's a
it's-
new bridge,
It's different.
but it's different.
It's
Yeah.
different. Everything is different. Like part of the why I also didn't honor this writing piece of me for a long time was because I didn't see a tangible example of somebody who was living in the real world and not like Toni Morrison, who was a writer.
Right.
Like I couldn't point out
Right.
and I was like, this is not sustainable. So it finally did become sustainable, and I'm like, okay, for somebody who wants to do that now, first of all, blogging is on a different ball game now. Like it's a different. A lot of us who started blogging way back in the day are now seeing success because we've been at it for such a long time. But the value in what we've been doing is because back then there were no expectations. Like now people start a blog and they're like, I want 800,000 page views in the first month, and I want to start making 6 figures. Back then we didn't even think it was possible. So for us, it was for the love of writing.
Yeah, just because you cared about it.
Now it's like, okay, you come in with strategy, you can fail. Like if I had expectations for myself and my blog way back then, I would have failed before now.
Right.
As in, me not getting to a certain level before a certain time would have made me feel like, oh, why you keep doing this? So that freedom was good, and I think you have to give yourself freedom to fail.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. It kind of reminds me of the conversation about reality TV in here.
Oh.
Which I thought, I mean, it opened my eyes because, I mean, I've been, you know, my wife watches TV. I kind of look over her shoulder, what's she doing? But you know, it's changed so much that, like, what the genre is, like, when it first was invented, it could have kind of a ad hoc, kind of random quality to it
Yeah.
that it lost. And so now there's, like, writers for reality TV.
Oh, they have writers for, okay, so first of all, I feel like one of the first reality TV shows was Cops. Think
Yeah,
about it.
Right, good point.
It's like cops just chasing people.
Right, exactly.
But it's
Throwing
real
them
life.
against cars and
Right,
stuff.
throwing them against cars, and we actually watched this and loved it. Cops was actually lit. I love Cops. That used to be great. You'd be like, how long are they gonna run? Nowadays, I feel like
Is
if they
Cops
were running,
still on TV?
no, because I feel like those cops would have just shot them.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to chasing them. Okay.
Yeah.
So Cops was there, but Real World was like the grandmother of reality
Yeah, yeah.
TV show,
So
right?
Real World came after Cops or before Cops?
After Cops. Cops was on just like randomly
Yeah,
on Fox,
like that,
right?
right.
Real World happened on MTV, and that changed the scope of everything because Real World went from, it actually became revolutionary in what it was showing, reflecting, because they put like 7 people from all different backgrounds in one house, threw them together and just was like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But then one of the seasons of Real World ended up having the first person who was HIV positive on prime time, Pedro. It had like one of the first gay people on prime time. So Real World started showing the world as it was in a way that wasn't like clean cut.
Yeah, yeah.
But then all those people who end up on Real World started getting famous. So folks are like, wait, I can get famous by being on this show? So then reality TV started getting more ridiculous because the ratings got bigger, and then it became fights. On Real World back in the day, because I'm a Real World historian, if you won, they had to have a job while they were in this house. If they lost that job, they would get kicked off the show.
Right, right.
And then if they also physically like touched somebody that they weren't supposed to,
Right,
they'll get kicked
right,
off the show.
yeah.
And I remember the slap hurled around the world. Do y'all remember that? Like his castmate who he had been biffing with was leaving the show.
Yeah.
And right before she left, he tells her to wind down the window. She winds it down and he slaps her. That was like huge back then because he immediately got kicked off the show. And then like it kind of changed their rules. But now if you slap somebody, you're gonna get an extra feature on the reunion.
You get your own show.
You get your own show. Like it's a spinoff. So it just became this like bottom. I can't even watch reality TV show anymore.
So what is Donald? I mean, this is the first time we've had somebody in the public. So Donald Trump's he's a reality TV
He
star.
is.
So what do we learn about that from you know the Apprentice that'll help us understand what America's going to do in the future?
One thing we need to learn is be careful who you elevate.
Yeah, right.
Right?
You're right.
Like,
You're
be
right.
very careful.
Yeah.
Because you might get what you were not expecting, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Because there were some people on Real World and Road Rules, if they decide to run for, actually, wait, yes, One of them decided to run for office. Is a senator now.
He's a senator.
He is. He actually. We should probably write him.
Kevin.
We should probably write him. We should. Yeah. So this type of elevation, I think, is cheap, right?
You're right.
I feel like we're living in a world, and that's why I actually have a chapter in here called Microwave Fame. We're living in a world where things are very cheap now. Like everything we want to do is cheap. I met a camera. I was doing a shoot. Actually, it was funny at She Knows last summer, and the photographer, him and I were talking. I was just like, "So what were you doing before this?" He was like, "Oh, I was doing a reality TV show." He was a producer on a reality TV show, and he said he had to quit.
Right.
And I was like, "What made you quit?" He said, he said one day he went home after a 4-hour production meeting, where the entire subject of the production meeting was how to make two cast members hate each other. Yeah. Was like, okay, so what are we gonna make? Like, how are we gonna make them fight? So he said he went home and looked at his daughter and was like, what am I doing? And ultimately, we're just seeing that everything now is going through these crazy shortcuts. Yeah. Nothing is quality anymore. It's like, I mean,
well, that's what I wonder. I mean, it just how is it just going to continue to degrade, or where's this going? Do you mean when yeah.
The truth?
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to continue to degrade.
So it's going to be worse. It's going to be
unless people with common sense rise back up.
Yeah.
Like unless people with sense and like integrity take the helms again, it's going to keep degrading, because what happens is when good people chill and it's like, well, it's not my business, and the foolish take control, we end up in spaces that we don't want to be in. Yeah. And then we're like, how did we get here? Because you chilled. Because you let it happen. You weren't supposed to let that happen. I feel like America needs adults right now, grown-ups. So I was in a meeting the other day, and a really good point was made by this like TV exec. She said, America needs a grown-up. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, think about it. After Oprah Winfrey's show ended, everything went to hell. She was like, think about it, because Oprah was the last of a group of people who were basically America's grown-up. We had Phil Donahue. We had Sally Jesse Raphael, who were basically America's conscience, right? And every day you got to tune in and watch them tell you to do better. Every single day. They were like, hey.
Now it's you.
I'm too young. I'm not America's grown-up. I'm like America's babysitter who's like, I'm like a babysitter who's like, I mean, don't eat that candy, but I'm not going to fully stop you because not your mom. I feel like America needs a grown-up again. There's nobody on television every single day that's actually forcing you to do better. Let's make
every day, you're right.
Every single day. Like, we had Oprah 5 days a week. We had Sally Jesse 5 days a week. Phil Donahue all over the place. And now, who do you have? Ellen. Ellen is also the babysitter who lets you eat candy after 8 p.m. And she, like, has a dance party with you, and you're like, oh, my God, I love Ellen. I love when she babysits. But Ellen does not make you want to do better.
Yeah.
Ellen makes you want to be nice. But Ellen does not make you think critically.
Right.
And say, you know what, that person doesn't look like me, but here's something that they're going through that I need to care about. And we don't have that grown up on television anymore. We don't have that conscience.
Yeah, right.
We have The View, but Lord knows that.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need a grown up. I mean, maybe I'm too much of a baby to be the grown up. Like, people are gonna be like, Luvvie, you're 12.
Hey, it passes pretty quick. I mean, 5 years from now, you might be the grown up.
Look, I mean, I feel like I'm somewhat I'm the one who makes sure. Maybe. Give me like 30 years, but in 30 years, will this place still exist? Jesus.
Yeah. You know, so many of us, we're not internet superstars, but what advice do you have for regular people and how they deal with social media? Like, maybe you could tell me, this is a question for you. What is the most powerful social media post, like, that you've seen, that you've made? Like, what sticks out in your mind after all those different things?
I just always think about the stories that people send me, like after I write any particular piece that really
so it's
hits
personal,
them.
It's right to you. It's like
Personal,
the lady
right
in the
to
hospital.
Me. Yeah, like, and I get those all the time that lets me know that people are listening, and I feel like people also need to, people are listening and want to be told what to feel and do, kind of in a way that's like, what can I do right now that's gonna help? So one thing that I had written before this election happened, I really kind of devoted my platform to talking about this election, because I didn't want to feel like I didn't do enough to prevent what is happening.
Yeah.
Like, for at least a year, I was using my Facebook, my Twitter, my blog to just be like, yo, I need you to volunteer vote as tribute. Come November, like, we will hold her feet to the fire because, listen. Okay, and people thought I was being dramatic. Folks were like, oh my God, you're trying to hold my, no. And I remember one post I wrote in particular, because I think it was called "The Devil is a Walking Cheeto Who's Running for President."
Right. I remember that one.
And this girl actually emailed me after the fact and said, thank you for writing that. You've actually changed something that I was about to do. She said she and her boyfriend were actually planning to leave the country if he had become president. But because of my post, she called him at work and was like, we can't leave. We have to fight with everybody else if he becomes president.
Wow.
She's like, we put away our passports and just was like, okay, we're going to see what happens if we're going to stay and fight. People need to be told, and I feel like we can use groupthink to positive ways sometimes. So groupthink is what got us here. We can use groupthink to get us out, right? So just really putting the pressure on people we know in real life, on social media, to try to nullify what is happening, right? And I feel like Donald Trump is our Sula. Now let me explain that.
Yeah, right.
Sula is my favorite book by Toni Morrison. Sula is the title character, and she brings chaos anywhere she is. Yeah. Chaos follows her. Like, if she's there, just know it's going to be ridiculous. But, so people used to try to just be the best version of themselves because they're like, Sula's too ridiculous. Like, I have to be really good. And then when Sula died, everything went crap. Yeah. Because there was nobody else to measure yourself to anymore, and there was no person who you were using as a measuring stick. Maybe he's our Sula. I feel like right now is when we are being challenged to be the absolute best version of who we're supposed to be. For once, I actually see people uniting with people who don't look like them, don't have the same backgrounds. Like, my goodness, the protests around the country this weekend over the Muslim ban, I've never seen that before. Right. For people who are mostly Christian, Jewish. So we have to take this opportunity to realize that if we all don't fight together, we're just all going to lose. Yeah. So maybe that's our Sula moment.
Yeah. I have a friend who's here today. He's just like, Malcolm, what are you doing in June, July? He said, what are you doing to about this election? Yeah. And you're right. It was this moment where we're pulling together and where we might make a difference in how things go.
Everybody got to pull together because we are all in this together. If the Titanic sinks, we all sink with it. Like, everybody goes down.
True.
So
everybody goes down.
That's also comforting.
Yeah, it is. In a way, it is. It is.
It's very comforting. It's like, oh, okay, so we would all sink. Cool,
in the book, you even said that. It's like you said, the World Wide Web is like a way of each one of us is connected, like almost like a little wire that connects us all to each other.
We're all absolutely connected. Yeah. Like, everybody knows everybody because, oh, I'm Facebook friends with that person. Oh, my God, that's my cousin. Oh, man, that's my best friend from high school. That's happened so many times from just like me seeing one Facebook post. Yeah.
So one of the traditions we have at the forum, I don't know if we told you about this, I should have before, but we ask people to write questions on cards. And they bring up the cards, and the great thing about it is they'll ask smarter questions because, they'll be from a different, range. So if you have a card, please write your question, and then Rebecca, who's right there, standing up at the back, can bring your questions on up. So my daughter has such a different, my daughter's 15, turning 16 this summer. Okay. Son's 17. My son had to get Facebook because it was required for some club he was in or something.
Of course.
So he has that. So he's more like us. But she doesn't care about Facebook at all. But
good.
Snapchat.
Oh.
She thinks. So what is the deal? Like how's like the whole evolutionary process? Like, is her whole generation going to be Snapchat, and then there's going to be something else after that? I mean, how do you think things are going to go in the future with all these different things?
The evolution of these social media tools is interesting.
Exactly.
I am an early adopter of a bunch of them.
But I didn't use any of them. I would look at it twice a year, whether I needed to or not. Yeah. Yeah. So 2008 was when I started.
2004, July 2004. Facebook started in February 2004. So Snapchat, funny enough, I'm also a social media strategist, but I hate Snapchat.
Yeah.
I see the value in Snapchat, but I hate it with the intensity of 1,000 suns. One, I think the interface is awful.
Yeah, it's hard to understand.
It's just like...
It's like designed to make me not be able to work it.
It's designed to frustrate you.
Yeah, the 16-year-olds can do it, though.
The 16-year-old, which is like, if you mean it, you'll be on here. Yeah. For me, I also have to like beat it into the heads of kids whenever I do like workshops for them in high schools and colleges. That's like, hey, by the way, I know you think Snapchat is temporary. Nothing you post on the internet is temporary.
Yeah. She gets that.
She gets that, right? Yeah. Snapchat got sued a couple years ago because people realized that there was like a server that was holding on to all these folders. with your images and stuff. So it's important for them to understand that the internet is not private. And I always tell folks, don't post anything online that you wouldn't want to end up on a Times Square in a billboard in Times Square. Just operate yourself like that, and you would actually be better for it. Because what happens is they end up losing jobs because somebody
Well,
screenshotted
that's what I wanted to ask
something.
you too. It's just like, I mean, you have, one of the things you write about is just almost like your rules about privacy. Like, what is the part of you, what is the Luvvie that you share, and what is the Luvvie that's, just for your family and your friends, the people who are, physically in your life?
Yeah, I am a private public figure in that a lot of things that I do very public, like I'm traveling all the time. I'll share that on Instagram story or Facebook. I am doing whatever randomness I'm doing, teaching a class here and there, but everything is shared. But what people don't realize is I actually don't really share a lot about my personal life. I actually share very little about my personal life. And it's a line that I drew for myself because I wanted something that was sacred to me. That wasn't for public consumption all the time. Like people being like, oh my God, my boyfriend got me these flowers today, and they'll post it on Instagram, and everyone's like, that is so sweet. Oh. And I'm just like, but you're performing your relationship essentially out loud. And certain things aren't for performance.
Put an exclamation point next to that, because it's something that you might not realize. I mean, it's so helpful to have you say that, because it's what's really happening. We don't talk about it in that way.
Yeah, I mean, we're generation overshare. And I am in it, but I'm not of it. So a lot of it annoys me. I'm just like, why are you telling people all this stuff about you? Like, some of it, there's a thin line between like vulnerability and overshare. So the vulnerability is like, great. Just sharing your story, sharing your struggles, great. Because oftentimes it might inspire somebody else to share their struggle and be more open about theirs. And then there's the overshare. That's just pointless. That's just like, I just want people to know all the details of my life. And you're just like, but why? And what kills me is when they overshare and people are like, oh my God, and add opinions, and they're like, but like, I didn't ask you guys. You open the door to your house and then you wonder why I didn't come in. I'm coming in and like eating some food. Like, you can go in your fridge, get some juice, sit down like I live there, because you invited me in. Oh, you didn't want me to come in, but you opened the door and like started playing good music? No.
Well, that's part of what happened with me with social media when I first started. I wouldn't let anybody be my friend. I was like, come on.
You were being on
sorry,
social media.
You don't make the cut.
On social media.
Oh, yeah. On Twitter, I'm just like, I'm sorry. I don't quite know you well enough.
But you know what, though? People email me every day, every single day. My Facebook, I allow followers. So I have a Facebook profile page, and I have a fan page. So my profile page is pretty public still, and I allow people to follow me. But everyone that requests me does not become a friend. I need to actually know you for me to add you as a friend on there. I get emails every day from people who are like, hey, why can't I comment on your profile page? Did you block me? We were never friends. So people feel entitled to
You're right. Well, it's partly people
spaces.
entitled, and from my perspective, just kind of ignorant about how it works.
You don't have, like I tell people.
Maybe I'm the only one who's
my
ignorant.
social media is not a democracy, it's a dictatorship.
Yeah.
So, like, I definitely operate like that, where it's like no one is entitled. This one person on my fan page today felt entitled to be able to comment on my fan page and was like just being really derailing the conversation. And I was like, you should go away. And then she was like, no, I'm not going to go away. So I blocked her because I was like, I have the mic here. She sends me a long message via email. And I was like, are you big mad or little mad? That was my response, which probably really hurt her feelings. I'm so petty.
The other dean told me when I get bad letters and email, I should just write back a short line saying, you may be right.
That's it.
That's it. No,
and they're like, yes.
So this is a great question. The comments on your posts on Facebook are always brilliant and hilarious. Why do you think you've been able to develop such a great online community?
Oh my God, seriously, the comment section of my blog and my Facebook and my Twitter. If you ever want hope in humanity, go there. Because most websites, they tell you never read the comments. Never read
it's hurt my feelings so badly.
You want to read the comments on my platforms, and
yeah.
it's by design. It's because over the years when me saying this dictatorship actually comes in handy. I set the tone for what happens on my platforms. And my audience is so engaged and so plugged in that they've also continued that going. So they're very smart, very thoughtful, hysterical. Like, they're so funny. people of all backgrounds
Yeah.
on my platform just having a good time no matter what topic we talk about. And if one ridiculous person slips through, it's already handled before I get there.
Yeah.
I show up like, oh, you guys got it. All right. And it's because I've honestly made a very conscious effort to create a community on All Might Social that, one, feels inclusive, two, is not going to stress people out like the rest of the internet does, and reflective of my values. So I let people know off the jump, like, if you come on my platform talking crazy, talking hateful, you will be banned. It's not one of those things that where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna let it go just so I can get more comments. No, because I feel like one terrible comment can derail an entire great conversation.
You're totally right. You're totally right.
So I just like delete.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And I like that the way, too, is it's just like people imitate what you're doing.
They do.
The way you talk
They
is going
absolutely
to
do.
set the standard for how everybody else.
They do, and I test it out sometimes. Like if I write a blog post where some blog posts, I'll make it a point to curse, and I'll watch my comments. There'll be more curse words in the comments. If it's a blog post where I don't curse at all, nobody else curses in the comments. So it's a very clear showing that they are following my lead.
Yeah, right.
So I set the tone.
Here's a great question. I can't wait to hear your answer on this. As Nigerians, we're taught to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, or some high-paying job. What was your parents' reaction to quitting your job and blogging full-time?
So
You could always pass, by the way.
No, this is
You
good.
got the microphone.
So when I started college, my major was psychology pre-med, and then first semester of college, I took chemistry and got the first D of my academic career, and I actually made an effort, which I don't. Okay, and I was like, okay, so yeah, me becoming a doctor is not gonna happen because I don't even like hospitals, and this D in chemistry, no. So I dropped the pre-med, but I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't tell my parents. They showed up to graduation and realized my pre-med was gone. Because I am that person.
Yeah.
Who's like, they're not going to notice. And at that point, you know, I had done college in 4 years, had a good GPA. I think my mom had basically let go of the reins.
Yeah.
At that,
well,
she
I mean,
was just
in
like,
a way, you see, as a parent, sorry, you see the person starting to thrive in their own way, and you don't feel like you have to control everything.
hands off. At that point, they
Yeah.
were hands off. And then, you know, me blogging, I still had a full-time job for most of the time. She thought I was playing on the internet, which fine. You have a full-time, you're not asking me for money, I'm good. Yeah. You good. So she didn't question me. But I think it got really real. Like this whole writing thing, again, was not something I discussed. I just did it. And it got real for her when I was like doing press coverage next to the BBC at the Oscars 2012. And I was backstage, and my sister texted me, because I was backstage. The rest of the journalists are over there like filing their deadline stuff. I'm over there eating shrimp, and because Wolfgang Puck catered, and I was over here like, I wasn't doing no work. I was just back there like eating all the food and desserts. And and I was supposed to be live tweeting, mind you. My sister texts me and is like, hey, mom just called me and said she hasn't seen a tweet from you in 20 minutes. She knows about Twitter? Stop. So for her, that's when it was kind of real that like I wasn't just playing on the internet, that I actually was getting access into rooms that other bloggers were not.
Right.
Like constantly getting this type of access. So again, I didn't ask her for money, so she figured I was doing okay. I wasn't selling drugs or anything, so hey,
Yeah, right.
do you.
Here's another question. What are your thoughts on celebrity opinions like Kanye West, Common, and Pharrell, who think the black narrative is no longer relevant?
First of all, one, I firmly believe that if you have a platform...
Do you want me to answer that one? I'm just kidding.
I firmly believe that if you have a platform, you should definitely use it for bigger than like talking about how much money you got and all that stuff. But then there's the Kanyes who make you regret that thought because you're like, you should just shutting up is free. Right. I completely
I'm gonna write that down.
Like, you know, if you're gonna say something, don't say that daft stuff that you're about to say. And Kanye is like, you know, I'm a Chicago girl, so I was rooting for Kanye for a long time. Finally, I put Kanye on my hit list because he just started doing things that you couldn't justify. Like, you can't be a celebrity and be irresponsible like that.
Yeah.
Like, this dude got out of rehab, and the first thing he did was go see Donald Trump and take a picture next to him. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Because there are people who are looking up to him who are thinking, oh, he gives a stamp of approval, I need to give mine too. I mean, these celebrities, here's the thing. sometimes they feel like they get rich enough to where their race doesn't matter. But I'm like, when you drive in your car, that cop doesn't know how rich you are unless you're in Maserati. So when he pulls you over, you're still just a regular black person. Until you're like, oh, that's Kanye West. People should not let their money forget like the state of affairs for most other people. Like, fine, you can get rich enough to where you can actually transcend your race, where people are like, oh man, you're black, it doesn't matter, you're super rich. But most people who look like Kanye don't have the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, what you say in the book too. I mean, your epilogue is beautiful, and I mean, it's like kind of like the story of my life. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just you've received so much.
Yeah.
It is actually create an obligation for you to
Give it
help
up.
help somebody else.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
give it up. I feel like we're all so very stingy about stuff.
Yeah.
So the other day, on a day before the inauguration, I was feeling very anxious. So I was doing a closet purge 2 weeks before that, and I found a pair of Ivanka Trump pumps
Oh yeah.
that I've never worn, that I must have been in my closet for like 4 or 5 years because I'm a shoe fiend, so I forget some shoes that I own. So I found these shoes, and I was like, oh, I can't wear these again,
Yeah.
or ever. So I decided to burn them on Facebook Live. So I had a very ceremonious 20-minute burning on Facebook of these shoes, because it took 20 minutes to burn. First of all, it was very comforting. And I did it in the rain. Okay, it's raining in Chicago. Lit it with lighter fluid, burned this thing, and first of all, the comments are hysterical.
Well, also, if you do a search on you, this comes up. I mean, this
Does
is
it
like,
really?
So it's one of the top things.
Oh my God, because it ended up going crazy
You're known
viral.
as the lady who burned the shoes.
Who burned the shoes? And then, so first of all, most people are like, this is the most comforting thing I've seen recently. They said it was like therapeutic, because it was. You just watched it burn, and it was like great.
It's very peaceful.
It's very peaceful. It was like, oh my God, I feel like, yes. I should have thrown like a bag of Cheetos in there too. If I had prepared, okay, if I was ready. So the day after, I see a couple of comments on my post where people were like, you could have donated those shoes. There's a homeless woman who could have worn that to a job interview. And I was like, a pair of high red pumps. Some homeless woman is somehow without a job because I just burned these shoes. And I had to tell people, I was like, I give away easily 25 pairs of shoes every year, at least. These one pair of shoes,
Right. I'm not gonna
if I don't give away any of my shoes, you can then have that critique. But I give away 25 pairs of shoes every single year, at least. So I can burn these shoes. It's going to be all right. And if I'm going to give away some shoes to a homeless woman, there won't be some red pumps that are this high. Like, I'm pretty sure those are not the number one on her list of shoes she needs, okay? I'll give her the ones I'm wearing. Like, come on.
This is a great question right here, by the way. So, when you are an ancestor, how do you want to be remembered?
Ooh, that's
3
good.
things, if possible.
Oh, that's deep.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, that's so
See
deep.
what I mean? These are like genius things. Right
That's
here.
deep.
It's
I've never
deep.
thought about, oh man, that's deeper than rap. Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want my grandkids to be able to say like, my grandmother was like a badass. I want my grandkids to be like, she was one of the people who spoke up in times when most people didn't.
Yeah.
Who actively tried to change the world in a really good way. So like when I'm not here anymore, I want people to think of me as the person who inspired other people to do better.
Yeah.
To like be the best selves they can.
I like it. I like it. When the robots are in charge.
When the robots are in charge, yes.
So here's another question. Now, how does changing the energy from an outlet to an income affect your writing?
That's good.
So that was good too. I mean,
Y'all are on point.
these guys are,
Oh,
they're
man, come through, Grace
they're top
Cathedral.
stars. I know it. I tell you, you wouldn't have expected it, huh?
Outlet to an income. Oh, man, stop it. That's so good.
It would have taken me like 3 pages to write that question.
Just write that question.
Seriously,
right?
it's
That's
like
so
it's
good.
just 3 lines.
If I might keep that, because I
Yeah,
might
you
create
should.
a
I'm
workshop
gonna hand
from
it
that.
to you. Here you go. Put
Yeah,
that in
yeah.
your
Let
pocket.
me keep that.
Make another after you're done looking up your friend from elementary school.
Write a whole thing from outlet to income. So I started thinking about myself less of a writer. I used to say I'm just a blogger, and then I was able to say I'm a writer, and then I was able to say I'm a business.
And now you're on the New York Times bestseller list.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, I finally LLC'd myself. That also helped because I stopped just being like,
too.
yeah, I created an LLC as opposed to just being me, okay? I thought about myself and the work that I do and the value that I was giving, right? So I started monetizing my website when brands would come to me and say, hey, we want to work with you. And give you money? And I was like, yes.
Finally.
Finally, okay? I started basically getting paid to be myself. Brands would be like, hey, we understand your audience. For a long time, none of them paid attention to me. I was a blogger who was doing really good work, but nobody was paying attention to on the brand level because bloggers are put in boxes, niches. So you have the fashion bloggers, you got the gossip bloggers, you got the beauty bloggers, you got the entertainment bloggers. I was all of that and more, except they weren't realizing that. So my audience was who they wanted to reach out to, but they didn't know. And then when they started realizing that the power that my audience had, when Scandal started, and really my blog became the water cooler conversation place where people debriefed about Scandal, and Scandal blew up, and I became known as a person who was like the go-to Scandal person. I was like foreshadowing what would happen on Scandal based on the color that Olivia would wear. So Shonda Rhimes herself was like, word, yes.
Oh, yeah, right. And
that changed it too, because I became a TV influencer. So I was writing recaps for award shows. So networks would come directly to me and start being like, yes, get your folks to watch our show. And they would totally watch it if I loved it, because they had the same taste as me, because I know my audience. Understanding when to say no and walk away from stuff has also changed how I get my income, because people will start offering me chump change for a lot of work, and sometimes it's hard to walk away from any money. So you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'll say yes. Those times are the times when you feel the most cheated, because those people who pay you less than you are worth are the ones who also want to give you more to do, because they don't understand your value to begin with. So I started picking up that, okay, I need to stand behind what I'm worth. If I'm charging this money, say with an exclamation point, not a question mark. And if they say yes, they say yes. If they say no, peace. And there are a lot of times when I'll be like, nope, because you can't afford me. And they'll be like, yeah, we don't have any more budget. I understand. I respect that. And they'll expect something else. Many times, a month later, they'll come back and be like, we found more money. I bet you did.
That's so interesting, because I mean, I think it's so helpful too. It's a great answer to the question, because there is that kind of business model, and knowing the market and knowing that world, that's also part of it. And it's just not just the content; it's also just how you carry yourself and what you offer yourself to do, and how do you commit yourself.
Positioning is everything. Yeah. Positioning is everything in any type of business that you do, because if you are the person known for being cheap as opposed to being the person who's being good, then they'll always bring cheap stuff to you. Like now I tell brands that, you're not putting me in a campaign with 30 other bloggers, because that's not gonna happen. How much you're gonna need to pay me is gonna be enough to where you can't afford 30 other bloggers.
Right.
And also, if you have me, you don't need 30 other bloggers.
Right, exactly. Oh, this is what exactly I was hoping I would learn when you came. I mean, it's like a whole other world. But there's a great question. This is kind of a summary question. We've got to wrap it up, because I want to get you sleep early and all that. We're going to sign books too. We're going to sign.
Okay.
We're going to sign
make
books.
Sure I answer all
this
those
is a
questions.
good one here. Here's this. It's what's in store for 2017 for your brand, and your blog. Isn't that a good question too?
That is a good question. One of them I can't tell you yet.
But it's just going to come out soon.
It's going to drop any day now.
Oh, well, gosh.
But I think what is on par, I'm probably going to write a second book. I'm thinking I'm Judging You, America. I don't know. I feel like that was apt. I don't know. Honestly, this entire time, one thing that has pushed me through the years is I've never had really strong strategy about what my next move would be. I've kind of let what happened by just doing the things that I love in the moment. And seeing what falls at my feet. Right, that's what I've done up to this point. Even getting this book, the book came from an idea that after I got plagiarized, I was like, did some of us not get a limited edition handbook on how not to suck as humans? That's how I got the idea for I'm Judging You, book agent, all of it happened. So right now I don't have huge strategy for myself. The biggest goal I had set for myself thus far was hitting the New York Times bestselling list.
Yeah.
And
That's
I hit
a big
that the
goal.
week
so
that my book came out.
for 2017. Do you have?
I actually have not written my goals for 2017. Oh, well, one of them is to triple my income.
Perfect. Put that down.
That's one of the ones. The only one I've identified is I want to triple my income.
Yeah.
Anything after that, I don't know. I just I'm gonna see what comes.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
We're so blessed to have you. You're going to be signing books in here. The books are for sale outside, just outside that door. There's a little Pete's Coffee concession, and then you'll be signing everything here.
Signing books, yep. And you can find me on the interwebs. I'm everywhere at Luvvie.
Yeah.
I'm like super easy to find. Luvvie is my username everywhere. So thank you so much for coming to this talk, and I hope it was good for you.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you for having
Oh my
me.
God.
Thank you so much. So our season, the forum season is just getting underway. So our next forum is going to be on Sunday, February 19th. And it's going to be an incredible forum. I'm not going to be leading it. Patrick, you're doing it, right? And it's going to be with the American Conservatory Theater. Carrie Perloff is going to be talking about 1,000 Suns. I think it's going to be an incredible one. So Patrick Thompson, if you'd raise your hand, he's going to be our moderator for that night. It should be a great time. What's that?
Wait, I'm taking a crowd selfie.
All right, that's good. Everybody's in there. All right, super. So, Luvvie, will you sign my book for me?
Absolutely. You got your pen?
I got a pen. Yeah, here you go.
Sweet.
You can see how much I wrote in there. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
all the things I noticed, you know.
Yo, like he's like underlined
On
stuff.
mine.
Oh my God, this is so cool.